Hey guys, Jeff Hewins here from Beer Cartel, and today we're revealing the New World Lager in the Advent calendar from Mornington. I'm joined by Christian. Welcome, Christian. Head brewer for Mornington. So thanks for joining me. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about Mornington and a bit about the beer that you've brewed, especially for this Advent calendar. This is a collab beer, exclusive, won't be seen anywhere else. Tell us a little bit about Mornington, what you guys do down there, what the ethos of the brewery is.
Oh, okay, so thanks for having us, first of all, up here for Sydney Beer Week, and from the Mornington Peninsula in Australia, so about an hour south of Melbourne. Started about 8 years ago, so we just had our 8th birthday, I think in October.
Yeah.
Started as a small brewery, a little 1,000 litre brew house was put in 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And they started making, the head brewer there at the time was Andrew Gow, AG, and started making pale ales and what is our core range now, essentially, but also a lot of specialties. And 3 years later, the brewery decided to put in a production facility just around the corner. So we have a larger brewery there which handles all our pack stock and all the core range beers that you see around, available at Beer Cartel and your local beer store. And then we started doing as well, having the two breweries, we got the chance to do a lot of specialties and creative beers. So we do a lot of collaborations with other small breweries and other people in the craft beer industry. We've got a barrel program there, so I think you would have seen the OPS release that we did in the farm, the Vin Ale experimental co-fermentated beers with some local wineries as well.
And those are all really, really super limited. I know that when we get some in, we might get 6 or 12 bottles and they're 750ml.
Yeah, so it's quite a small program, and over time our distribution's grown quite wide, so some of those things are pretty limited release. And we will also obviously be doing a lot with our specialty releases in the cans as well. We're pretty big into the New England IPAs with the Squid series. We do a lot of sort of little sour products as well, and it's a great, fun little brewery.
Cool. So. Mornington is definitely a brewery that I've followed along for quite some time. Actually, one of our previous staff members, Jared, used to work for us for a few years, and then he decided to go on the other side of the counter and be a sales rep for you guys for probably about 3 years or 2 years, something along those lines. So
he's the Sydney territory rep.
So it's we've always kind of had Mornington in our portfolio, and we've enjoyed seeing what you guys have done and releasing all the new releases. And so when we were looking for breweries to collaborate with and create a cool new beer for the Advent calendar to reveal and make it exclusive, thought we could go to you guys. So do you want to do the honours and
crack one of the beers?
Crack one of these beers. So the beer is the collaborative beer that we did, Mornington and Beer Cartel, and it's the New World Lager. So we've always been fans of the traditional lager that you guys do.
Yep. And
thought you were going to share.
Oh, sorry. You can have one too.
That's all right.
It's a good looking beer.
All good. So tell us a bit about this beer, what the inspiration was.
Well, the inspiration was just sort of thinking about being in an Advent calendar, what you sort of do leading up to Christmas. And for me, that's like a lot of sort of barbecues and catching up with friends. And so we wanted a reasonably social beer, a reasonably sort of easygoing beer. At the time, I think when we were talking about the project, it was the middle of winter in like Melbourne weather. So the thing was, we'll brew a big dark porter, but realistically, knowing that the project was still a couple of months away, we decided to go with something just sort of not too dissimilar to an American pale ale in terms of how it's hopped and how it's treated, but brewed with the lager yeast at a lower temperature to get something really crisp, cool and refreshing as well.
Which you can actually get those lager esters basically popping straight out as soon as we poured those. I could straight away, even blindfolded, you go, that's definitely got some lager esters. So so it's quite a there's no kind of cloudiness to the beer, and it's pretty much like a straw yellow colour. Nice white fluffy head on it, which you'd expect with this style.
Definitely. So it's an important thing is
kind of on point.
I suppose different to the American pale ale is the cloudiness and all that sort of stuff's a bit more accepted, but we still went along the traditional paths of making a lager and keeping it nice, bright, crystal clear, good head retention and those factors. So, I'm pretty comfortable drinking out of the bottle, but I think for a lot of people that nice presentation. In the glass really
this is a presentation. It also, the big thing I found is that if I was to drink, if few beers out of a bottle, then get quite a lot of bloating.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it in a glass, you're actually kind of releasing all that CO2, and you're not just getting it straight into the stomach. So this is definitely like a pretty easy drinking beer after mowing the lawns on a weekend or something along those lines. It's
definitely.
It's definitely a thirst quencher.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of hits all the points of the lager kind of category or style.
Yeah, it has all those elements. The major factor is just bringing in like the use of modern American developed hops to really sort of punchy aroma, a bit more citrus, a bit more fruit kind of flavors in the background as well. So, that in contrast, if you go, I suppose, this heavily hopped with your classic lager hops, it's a lot more grassy, spicy kind of flavors. So,
and it's got a decent kind of bitterness to it as well. Like it lingers. It doesn't come straight away, but it gets a little bit of bitterness
compared
to it.
to a regular lager, the alpha acid content on a lot of the American hops is much higher, so naturally the beer is much higher in IBUs. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much for joining us today, Christian.
No worries.
I appreciate
having us.
You kind of sharing a bit of the insight of the brewery at Mornington, and what you guys do there, as well as collaborating with us on this fantastic beer. To everyone there that's tuning in and watching at home, thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the next release. And cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Christian.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.